Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel, and today we will be working on page 6, lesson number 4, and we're going to start on line number 1. And a few notes that we'll be learning today is we're going to be learning the low D note, which is 1 and 3, and then we will be learning the C note, which is open. Okay? And you will have your first scale to memorize this time, which is exciting. You will be learning the C scale for memorization. Okay, all right, so let's start with line number 1. And these are half notes and half rests. And for you who are new to the channel, again, I'm using the Rubank Elementary Method for cornet and trumpet, okay? So you want to make sure that you get that book so that you can do these lessons. Free lessons, okay? And tell your friends about it, or your band, people that are in the band with you. It can help a lot of people, and it'll help your band as a whole. Okay? All right. Let's see. Line number 1. Starting off on the C note. 1, 2, 3, 4. So far, so good. All right, now moving down to line number 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. Good so far, and we're going down to line number 5 now, okay? In line number 5, they are teaching you what a tie is, and what a tie is it connects to another note and lengthens the rhythm, okay? So in other words, you might have 2 half notes, which is the case in this particular line. There's 2 half notes, and they connect it with a line that's called a tie, and you hold it longer. So in other words, instead of holding it for 2 beats, since it's 2 half notes, you're actually holding it for 4 beats. So it just helps lengthen. It's a cheater way of not having to rewrite the part and say, oh, a lot of early writers would do that, and you'll see that in a lot of music. Okay? All right, so line number 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Another thing I want to tell you about the tie now, you can tie anything. Like it could be a tie, and it's always to the same note, by the way. If it changes note, it's not a tie, it's a slur. And I should have mentioned that earlier, but you can have two whole notes that are tied together to make 8 beats, 2 half notes tied together to make 4 beats, 2 quarter notes to make 2 beats, and so on. So you get the idea. It just ties the same note to each other to lengthen the value of the note. Okay? Hopefully I made that clear. If you have any questions, feel free to leave it in the comments and I'll get back to you on that, okay? Now we are moving to line number 7. I know I'm kind of skipping around, but I'm trying to hit the major points of the lesson that will help you. All right, number 7, starting on the G note. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, again, there in this line, number 7, that's your two new notes for this week. So you have the D note, which is fingered 1 and 3, and then the C note, which is open. And I'll play those here right now for you. Okay, this is the D note. And then this is the C note, which is open. Again, the D note, 1 and 3. One more time. D, then C. Alrighty? Alright, now let's go down to let's go ahead and do number 8. It looks like a fun one. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, now let's go ahead and skip down to number 11, which is the C scale memorized. And I do definitely want you to memorize this. Practice, practice, practice. If you get nothing else out of this lesson, make sure you memorize that C scale, because those will learning the scales play a great part later in life if you ever want to do improvisation, or, it helps you to know what key you are in for a piece of music, which you will understand later as we continue on. And it's very good to force yourself to do that, okay? Just like with all your notes, don't get in the habit of writing down the vowel combinations. You need to know them by memory, because if you write them down, you're always going to be trying to rely on that. And if you see a note, you're like, oh, what note is that? It's better to have it memorized. That way, as soon as you see a piece of music, you just go boom, 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 and you'll be through it, okay? It'll be easier when you get into faster pieces of music. All right? Don't rely on writing down the fingerings, okay? I know it's tempting to do that, but until you learn until you remember those fingerings, don't continue on for any of the notes in these lessons that I've been giving you, okay? All right, going down to number 11 on the C scale. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, one more time. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, and that's it for this week's lesson. Please, please, please make sure that you go over this page. Do not pass on to the next lesson until you have this down. The great thing with watching these videos on YouTube is that you can go back and practice with me again if you need help on these things, okay? And as I said before, always feel free to leave me comments or questions. And I'm glad that you are taking an interest in learning the trumpet. It's my favorite instrument to play, and I want it to be yours too. And I have a lot to teach you and offer you, so please keep tuning in. Make sure you hit the like button, and make sure you subscribe to my channel, and tell your friends about it, okay? All right, we'll see you next time for your next lesson.